कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीर वनचारी यमुना तीर वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय जय यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीर वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय जय यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीर वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्ण जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद कृष्ण चैतन्य नंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Shri Gauranitai. Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Radha Shyam Sundar, Radha Shyam Sundar Radhe. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Jai Vishnupad Paramahansa Pariyacharya Ashtotar Sismi Divine Grace Abhay Charnarvinda Bhakti Vedanta Samshla Prabhupada Ki Jai अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाशा श्री हरदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसदि गौर भक्तविंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड गोप गोपीनाथ गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। मायापुर नवदीप धाम की जय। पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। भक्ति देवी तुलसी देवी की जय। गंगा में यमुना मैया की जय। युग धर्म हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायस्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam today, 10th canto, chapter 43, text number 7th to 15, 8 to 17. Okay. So I welcome all the devotees for today's Bhagavatam class, and gratitude to Dharmatma Prabhu for giving this opportunity. So seeking blessings of senior Vaishnavas. So we will read all the shlokas, and the 15th verse today, 17th verse is a very, very special verse, and very considered one of the most beautiful verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. So we'll quickly read the remaining verses and then come to the 17th verse, and we'll repeat the 17th verse. आप 17 लगाए, कौन सा लगाए रिपीट करने के लिए? 8 लगाए. Okay, then we'll repeat 8. Okay. पुच्छे प्रघ्रयाति बलम् धनुष पंचविंशतिम् विचकर्ष यथा नागम् सुपर्ण इव लीलया पुच्छे प्रघ्रयाति बलम् धनुष पंचविंशतिम् विचकर्ष यथा नागम् सुपर्ण इव लीलया पुच्छे प्रघ्रयति बलम् धनुषः पंचविंशतिम् विचकर्ष यथा नागम् सुपर्ण इव लीलया पुच्छे प्रघ्रयाति बलम् धनुषः पंचविंशतिम् चकर्ष यथा नागम्. Just 1 minute after, yeah. पुच्छे प्रघ्रयति बलम् धनुष पंचविंशतिम् विचकर्ष यथा नागम् सुपर्ण इव लीलया. Now Mataji's. पुच्छे प्रघ्रयति बलम् पंचविंशतिम् विचकर्ष यथा नागम् सुपर्ण इव लीलया धनुषा पंचविंशतिम् विचकर्ष यथा नागम् सुपर्ण इव लीलया पुच्छे प्रघ्रयति बलम् धनुषः पंचविंशतिम् विचकर्ष यथा नागम् सुपर्ण इव लीलया. Okay, now पुच्छे by his tail, praghya, grabbing him, ati balam, the extremely powerful elephant, dhanushah, bow lengths, panchavimshatim, 25, vichakarsha, he dragged, yatha, as, nagam, a snake, suparnah, garuda, iva, as, lilaya, playfully. Translation: Lord Krishna then grabbed the powerful Kuvalyapida by the tail and playfully dragged him 25 bow lengths as easily as Garuda might drag a snake. Saparyavartamanev sabya dakshinatochyutah babhrama bhramayamaneena govatseneva balakah. As Lord Achyuta held on to the elephant's tail, the animal tried to twist away to the left and to the right, making the Lord swerve in the opposite direction, as a young boy would swerve when pulling a calf by the tail. Tato abhimukham abhyetya panina bhatya varanam pradravam patayamasha sprishyamana pade pade. Krishna then came face to face with the elephant and slapped him and ran away. Kūvaļya pursued the Lord, managing to touch him again and again with each step. But Krishna outmaneuvered the elephant and made him trip and fall. Sadhavam kridaya bhūmau patitva sasotsitha tam matva patitam kruddho dantabhyam so hanakshitim. As Krishna dodged about, he playfully fell on the ground and quickly got up again. The raging elephant, thinking Krishna was down, tried to gore him with his tusk but struck the earth instead. Swavikrame pratihate kunjarendro ati amarshitaha chodyamano mahamatre krishnam abhyadravadrusha. His prowess foiled, the lordly elephant Kūvaļya went into a frenzied rage out of frustration. But the elephant keepers goaded him on, and he furiously charged Krishna once again. Tam apatantam asadya Bhagavan Madhusudanaha Nigraha Panina Hastam Patayam Asa Bhutale. The Supreme Lord, killer of the demon Madhu, confronted the elephant as he attacked. Seizing his trunk with one hand, Krishna threw him to the ground. Patitasya padakramya mrigendra iva leelaya dantam utpatya tenebham hasti pams chahanadharihi. Lord Hari then climbed onto the elephant with the ease of a mighty lion, pulled out a tusk, and with it killed the beast and his keepers. Mritakam dvipam utsrijya danta pani samavishad amshanyasta vishano shrini mada bindubhir ankitaha virudha sveda kanika vadanam buruha babhu. Leaving the dead elephant aside, Lord Krishna held on to the tusk and entered the wrestling arena. With the tusk resting on his shoulder, drops of the elephant's blood and sweat sprinkled all over him, and his lotus face covered with fine drops of his own perspiration, the Lord shone with great beauty. Britau gope katipair baladeva janardano rangam vivishatu rajan gajadanta varayudho. My dear king, Lord Baladev and Lord Janardhan, each carrying one of the elephant's tusks as his chosen weapon, entered the arena with several cowherd boys. Now comes the very important famous shloka number 17. mallānām aśanir nṛṇāṁ strīṇāṁ smaro mūrti-mān gopānāṁ sva-jano satāṁ kṣiti-bhujām śāstā sva-pitroḥ śiśuḥ mṛtyur bhoja-pater virāḍ aviduṣāṁ tattvaṁ paraṁ yogināṁ vrishtīnāṁ para-devateti vidito rangam gata agra-jaḥ. Translation. The various groups of people in the arena regarded Krishna in different ways, and when he entered it with his elder brother, the wrestlers saw Krishna as a lightning bolt, the men of Mathura as the best of males, the woman as Cupid in person, the cowherd men as a relative, the impious rulers as a chastiser, his parents as their child, the king of bhojas as death, the unintelligent as the Supreme Lord's universal form, the yogis as the absolute truth, and the vrishnis as their supreme worshipable deity. Purport. Srila Sridhar Goswami quotes the following verse which explains the 10 attitudes toward Krishna described here. Raudra adbhutasya shringaro हास्यं वीरोदया तथा भयानकस्य बिभत्सः शान्तः सप्रेम भकीकः. There are 10 different moods. Fury perceived by the wrestlers, wonder by the men, conjugal attraction women, laughter cowherd boys, chivalry the kings, mercy his parents, terror Kamsa, ghastliness the unintelligent, peaceful neutrality yogis, and loving devotion the Vrishnis. Srila Vishwanath Thakur points out that people like the wrestlers, Kamsa, and the impious rulers perceive Krishna as dangerous, angry, or threatening because they fail to understand the actual position of personality of Godhead. Actually, Lord Krishna is everyone's friend and well-wisher, but because we rebel against him, he chastises us, and thus we may perceive him as threatening. Krishna or God is actually merciful, and when he punishes us, that is also his mercy. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur quotes the following Vedic statement: Raso Vaisaha Rasam hi evayam labdhva nandi bhavati. He himself is rasa, the taste or mellow of a particular relationship. And certainly one who achieves this rasa becomes anandi, filled with bliss. Tattva Upanishad 271. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati quotes a further verse to explain the word rasa. Vyatitya bhavana vartma yash chamatkar bharabhu Ridhi satvojvale badham swadate sa raso matah. That which is beyond imagination, heavy with wonder, and relish in the heart shining with goodness, such is known as rasa. As Srila Rupa Goswami elaborately explains in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, there are 5 main rasas: neutrality, servitude, friendship, parental love, and conjugal love, and 7 secondary rasas: amazement, humor, chivalry, compassion, fury, fear, and dread. Thus altogether there are 12 rasas, and the supreme object of them all is Sri Krishna himself. In other words, our love and affection are actually meant for Sri Krishna. Unfortunately, out of ignorance, we stubbornly try to squeeze happiness and love out of material relationships, which are not directly connected to Krishna, and thus life becomes a constant frustration. The solution is simple: surrender to Krishna, love Krishna's devotees, and be happy forever. Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamiham Tadati Swapatantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radhakanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Vevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Prasharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna. So beautiful pastime of Srimad Bhagavatam, And it's a great fortune that we're hearing the pastimes of Krishna Balram in front of Krishna Balram. So, this is a wonderful pastime that how Krishna Balram, they entered Mathura, and first they roamed around Mathura. We heard all the pastimes of how he interacted with Kubja, he killed the washerman, he blessed Sudama flourished, and all these pastimes, and he broke the sacrificial bow. And today we are hearing that how he killed the elephant whose name was Kuvalya-pīḍa. Very, very powerful, gigantic elephant. And in the first few verses we read today, that how Krishna dramatically killed Kuvalya-pīḍa. Now the question is, the simple elephant, demon elephant, but Krishna could have killed him immediately. But we see Krishna takes some time to kill. Why? Just like in a movie, I'm sure we don't watch movies, but maybe in our many years back you have seen. What do you see in movies? Like the hero, when he fights with the villain, he doesn't kill him immediately, right? Otherwise there'll be no much enjoyment, entertainment. So there is some kind of fight, sometimes the hero falls back, then he gets up again, then charges at the villain. So then there is some rasa, there's some enjoyment for the spectators and for the hero himself. Just like Prabhupada gives the same example when Nrsimha came and he was fighting with Hiranyakashipu. So he didn't immediately kill him. For some time there was some good fight. Because Krishna wanted to enjoy the Videras. That's why he came in the form of Nrsimha and Jai Vijay came as Hiranyakashipu. Similarly here we see that Krishna is enjoying this rasa a little bit, fighting with the elephant. So dramatically we are seeing that how, first the elephant caught Krishna by his trunk, and then somehow Krishna escaped, then he went beneath his legs, and then again the elephant caught him, and then again Krishna escaped, and then Krishna caught him by the tail and dragged him 25 bow lengths. What is a bow length? Maybe the length of a bow, maybe 1 yard or something, I think Krishna book Prabhupada writes 25 yards. So something like this you can say, maybe 25 meters maximum. So he dragged the elephant by 25 meters, huge elephant, not small one. But the example is given how Krishna dragged him. Just like in his childhood, he used to drag a small calf. We know this pastime, right? When Krishna was a small baby, so he used to catch hold of tail of a calf. And then calf used to run and Krishna used to run behind the calf. Or sometimes Krishna used to pull the calf. So, for Krishna, it doesn't matter a small calf or a big elephant, For him, what is a big elephant? By his mere desire, he is sustaining millions of universes. So what is a big elephant? But in pastime, you can see Krishna pulled the elephant Kuvalya-pīḍa by 25 feet, 25 bow lengths. And the example is given, just like Garuda, he plays with a snake. So Garuda also, he is very powerful. He can kill the snake immediately. But he also plays with the snake for some time. He pulls him and then kills. So, and the Lord started swerving, like a little bit shaking when he was lifting this, when he was pulling elephant, because the elephant was trying to escape. So Krishna was trying to balance that and he was also tilting. And then finally, Krishna said, enough is enough. And then Krishna came in front of the elephant and slapped him. And then Krishna ran away. And then Kuvalya-pīḍa started running after the Lord. And then Krishna ran in such a way that finally the elephant fell down. He tripped. And then again the elephant got up. And this time Krishna fell to the ground. And the elephant thought, it's a good chance. What I will do is, with my tusk, I will pierce the body of Krishna. So just visualize, Krishna is lying on the floor and the elephant saw Krishna is there on the floor and he came and started attacking Krishna with all its might. He thought that he'll pierce the body of Krishna with his tusk, Big, the elephants have huge tusk, out of which ivory is made, huge tusk. So we can imagine this powerful demon Kuvalya-pīḍa must be having huge tusk and with sharp pointed tusk. And he thought that I'll finish Krishna now. So as he was he just stuck, he was trying to push his tusk on the ground And that time what Krishna did? He immediately got up from there. With such a fast pace. So then the elephant with his tusk hit the ground. So the tusk entered inside the ground. So the elephant was very much frustrated. He became more angry. And again he got up from there. And again he started charging towards Krishna. And this time Krishna, he seized the trunk of Kūvalya-pīḍa with one hand, effortlessly. Such a big trunk, Krishna just held with one hand and then threw him to the ground. And then he climbed on the elephant. The example is given just like a lion. Lion and elephant, both are very ferocious. So when there's a fight between lion and elephant, who wins usually? Elephant, because he's so powerful, big, or lion? Who wins? Lion. It's a very famous example in Bhagavatam we see. Even during the fight of Hiranyakashipu and Nrsimhadev also, the same example was used. That Hiranyakashipu is compared to a elephant and Nrsimhadev was compared to lion. So whenever there is a fight between lion and elephant, who is victorious? Lion. I think once somewhere I was just seeing some video of actually a fight between, it was very interesting, when a lion and elephant they fight, it's very, very ferocious fight, and ultimately the lion wins. That's why lion is the king of the forest. So just like ultimately the lion jumps on the elephant, similarly Krishna jumped on the elephant and this time he pulled out his tusk. Imagine such a powerful tusk. It's not easy to pull out the tusk. But then Krishna effortlessly pulled out the tusk. Just visualize this, The elephant, they have huge tusk. So Krishna got up on the elephant and pulled out the tusk, huge tusk, and with his own tusk, with the tusk of the elephant, he killed the elephant. He pierced the body of the elephant with that tusk. He killed the elephant and also the elephant keeper, the one who was actually riding on the elephant. He killed both of them. Called Hasti-pan, the elephant keeper. And then the elephant was dead. Imagine, such a huge elephant was dead. And Krishna and Balram, they both took one tusk and they kept on their shoulders. And drops of blood was oozing from the tusk. And the drops of the elephant's blood and sweat sprinkled all over Krishna's transcendental body. So Krishna's beauty increased, just like sometimes we sprinkle some color. So Krishna's body became more beautiful because of the drops of blood from that tusk. And also some perspiration. The Lord shone with great beauty. And then it is said that Balaram and Krishna, the word used here is Baladeva Janardano. Instead of Krishna and Balaram, it is said Balaram and Janardana. Janardana is the name of Krishna. So, Balaram and Janardana, or Krishna and Balaram, they entered the wrestling arena. Because Kansa had kept the elephant at the entrance of the wrestling arena. He thought probably I'll kill them because he was already afraid. Kansa in his heart, he was already afraid. So afraid he could not sleep the whole night. He knew that his end has come. But still he was trying his best. That is the nature of a demon. He always wants to avoid his death. So he tried all possible ways. That's why he had kept Kūvalya-pīḍa there. But Krishna killed Kūvalya-pīḍa and Krishna and Balaram, they entered the wrestling arena. So what weapon they were carrying? The tusks. The first time actually, if you see, Krishna, Balaram, they carried some weapon. Till now they never carried any weapon. In Vrindavan, have you ever heard Krishna and Balaram carrying any weapon? No. Their hand was enough for killing anyone. So first time actually, Krishna and Balaram, they are carrying a weapon. And what weapon? Natural weapon, tusk of elephant. They are not carrying AK-47 or missiles. They are carrying tusk of the elephant, right? And that too, killing that elephant. So they are carrying the two tusks and they entered the arena. And now comes the most important verse, which is a very, very famous verse. I'm sure if some other learned person would have explained in a much better way, but I'll try a little bit to explain. A very famous verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, mallānām aśanir nṛṇāṁ. So now this verse actually talks about how different people they saw Krishna. Like Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, ye yatha mam prapadyante tan sathaiva bhajamyaham. So as we approach Krishna, Krishna reciprocates accordingly. So here we will see in this verse 10 different kinds of people are mentioned and how they are relating to Krishna in different rasas. And how many rasas are there? 12. You all know 5 primary rasas, main rasas, that is Shanta, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya and Madhurya. And there are 7 secondary rasas called Gauna rasa, which is like, Raudra, Adbhuta, Hasya, Virya, Bhayanaka, Bibhatsa. There are 7 secondary rasas. So in this verse, all the 12 rasas we'll see. That's the beauty of this verse. So in Krishna's reciprocation with 10 different kinds of people, all the 12 rasas are being exchanged. That is how our acharyas have explained very beautifully. So this is very, very interesting verse of Bhagavatam. And in the purport given by the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, so they are quoting Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he quotes the verse from Taittiriya Upanishad, very famous verse, Raso Vaisaha. That means Krishna is the reservoir of all rasas. Prabhupada often used to quote this, Rasa Vaisaha Krishna. So he is the reservoir of all rasas. What is rasa? Rasa Prabhupada translated as a mellow, a taste. So in every relationship there is some rasa, which we enjoy, which we relish. That is called rasa. The word rasa actually means, we say in Hindi like ganne ka ras, right? Or the juice of sugarcane. That means the sweetest part of the sugarcane is the juice. So in any relationship, what we relish is actually rasa, mellow. So Krishna is the source of all mellows, rasa vaisa. So that is why Krishna's pastimes are so sweet, because Krishna exchanges all the different kind of rasas with his various devotees. And especially in Vrindavan, and now we are seeing also in Mathura. So we can quickly try to analyze that what are the examples given in this verse, 10 different kind of people and how they are relishing various rasas. So first word that is used here is mallānām, Malla Yuddha. You know what is Malla? Malla Yuddha means wrestling. So mallānām means the wrestlers. So wrestlers, for them, they are seeing Krishna as aśanir. Aśanir means lightning, thunderbolt. Now imagine, Krishna is such a tender boy, hardly he was 11 years some months, so soft, so delicate. His feet were so soft that gopis used to feel anxiety that the soft feet of Krishna, when they will graze in the forest, they will be pierced by thorns. So in this way, the gopis were in anxiety. But the same delicate form of Krishna, now the wrestlers, for them, Krishna is appearing as strong as a thunderbolt, lightning. Because their bodies were very strong. It is said Chanur and Mustik, their bodies were like mountains. But then we know that when a thunderbolt or a lightning strikes, big mountains, they also get devastated. There's a big crack and the mountains, they get destroyed. So for these wrestlers, they were thinking Krishna as lightning or thunderbolt. In fact, in Krishna's lotus feet also, we see there are different symbols. One of the symbol is thunderbolt. Because it is said that when you meditate on Krishna's lotus feet, so the sins which are there in the heart, like big mountains, they get destroyed by the thunderbolt. So these wrestlers, they are seeing Krishna as lightning or thunderbolt. So this is, you see, because there is one category of people, the wrestlers. So the rasa is Raudra, that means fear. And then we see nṛṇāṁ, nara-varaḥ. And for the males, for the common people of Mathura, the common pious people, they saw him as the best of men, nara-varaḥ. So the general people of Mathura, for them, Krishna was nara-varaḥ or Purushottam, the best of all males. And yes, and the rasa is called Vismaya rasa, or you can say wonder, something very amazing, we can say. They were amazed to see Krishna and Balaram because they heard of Krishna and Balaram so many times before, his various Vrindavan pastimes. Later in this chapter we will see that, imagine, it was like a big stadium. Like these days we have soccer match or cricket match, so lakhs of people watching, right? It was like that, a huge stadium. You can see in the main gallery on the top, in the main podium was Kamsa and his ministers and his close men. And all around there was huge galleries. So different people were occupying different places. So at some gallery there were priests, general people, women, so like that. You can just imagine, huge stadium and the center, and Krishna and Balaram just entered that stadium, We can imagine this. Even now we see a perverted form of it. Like when a famous cricketer or someone, they enter the stadium, there's a big uproar, right, in the crowd. So similarly, imagine Krishna and Balaram, the best of the heroes, they're entering the huge stadium, wrestling arena. And different kind of people, they are reacting in different ways. So for the wrestlers, they are getting frightened. Oh, this Krishna Balaram, they're like as strong as thunderbolt. So they're getting frightened. For them it's Raudra, fury. And for the general men, they're astonished. Wow, so beautiful, Krishna Balaram are so beautiful, so strong. So for them the rasa is wonder. Then, so this first category is wrestlers, second is the common men of Mathura. Third is strīṇāṁ, the women of Mathura. How they saw Krishna? So you can guess what kind of rasa came out? Madhurya or conjugal mellows. So strīṇāṁ smaro mūrti-mān. For them, Krishna was so beautiful, like Cupid personified. We know that Krishna is called Madana Mohan. So Cupid is nothing in front of Krishna. He is Madana Mohana. And Radharani is Madana Mohana Mohini. So for the women of Mathura, Krishna was so beautiful, so attractive. And the rasa exchange between them and Krishna was Madhurya rasa. Then the fourth example is gopānāṁ. Gopānāṁ means the cowherd friends of Krishna, those who went with Krishna. So when Krishna went from Vrindavan to Mathura, so Nanda Maharaj and all the cowherd men, they went with Krishna, right? And the gopis, they stayed back at Vrindavan. So the cowherd men, the cowherd boys, they saw Krishna as their own. So what bhava came out? Sakhya bhava. So they saw Krishna as their own friend. And also one more rasa they exchange is hasya. They started laughing, looking at, oh, look at Krishna, what a special form, carrying this big tusk and smeared with blood. So they are not getting afraid by looking at Krishna. So that because their rasa is sakhya rasa. For them Krishna is their friend, there is nothing to fear. Right? The same form of Krishna, the wrestlers are getting terrified, but his friends, they are laughing. He is our friend, look how funny he is looking with all carrying this elephant tusk and with drops of blood, and so like that they were laughing. For them it was all fun because they knew that these wrestlers are nothing in front of Krishna Balaram. They will come and kill them easily. He will kill Krishna Balaram, they will kill easily. So fourth example we saw, the friends of Krishna. And what two rasas were manifested? Sakhya rasa and hasya. Then the fifth example is, the fifth category of people who are there in that wrestling arena, asatāṁ, that means the impious kings. Asatāṁ kṣiti-bhujām, the impious kings, for him he was a śāstā, a punisher. So this is another category of people. Now for them, they are relishing chivalry rasa, veera rasa. For them, he is a chastiser. Because they heard that Krishna is so powerful. So the impious kings, for them, he was like enemy. So they thought, okay, we'll see. If something happens, we'll also attack Krishna. That was their mood. So how many categories are over? 1 second, let's revise. Wrestlers, so they saw Krishna as lightning. Their rasa is Raudra rasa. They were very scared of Krishna. Then second category, the normal men of Mathura. For them, what was the rasa? Anyone remembers? Amazement or astonishment. They were amazed looking at Krishna, right? Wonder. It's called wonder. So wonderful Krishna. So they were like amazed looking at Krishna and Balram. And then third category, the women of Mathura, what rasa manifested? Madhurya rasa. So for them, Krishna was more beautiful than Cupid. Then the fourth category, the cowherd men. What rasa manifested? Sakhya, friendship and hasya. They laughed looking at Krishna. Then the other kings, with them, Veera rasa, because they were waiting to fight with Krishna. Okay, 5 categories over. Now sixth, parents. Sva-pitaro śiśuḥ. So for his parents, what was the mood? Because Vasudeva and Devaki, they were also there. Nanda Maharaj was also there. So they saw Krishna as their small child. So what rasa came out? Vatsalya rasa. And at the same time, Karuna rasa, that is compassion. Why? Because they're feeling, Arey, such a small, our small little delicate children, this big wrestlers they will face. How they will face them? So a lot of compassion was coming out from their heart. Natural for parents, when they see the children about to face some tough task, so they feel very compassionate for the children. There is a small boys, how they will face such huge, such powerful wrestlers. So two kind of rasas manifested. One is Vatsalya Bhav, that our children, our sons, and compassion, Karuna ras. So this was category number 6, right? Okay. Then Kamsa. Mṛtyur bhoja-pater. So who is bhoja-pater? Because Kamsa is called bhoja-pater because he was the king of the bhoja. For him, Krishna was what? So how did Kamsa perceive Krishna? Mṛtyur, as death personified. So that was Kamsa's, So it's like terror, bhayanak. For Kamsa, Krishna was terror personified, bhayanak. So rasa is bhayanaka rasa. And for the aviduṣāṁ, that means not very intelligent, common men, they perceive Krishna as virāḍ purusha. That is natural. Normally people, they don't know Krishna tattva nice. For them, they say there is some supreme power. So they perceive, okay, he is like the supreme power, something like that. So that was the common, unintelligent people. And then for the yogis, so this is I think number 7. Number 8, yogis. I think number 9 now we are coming, number yogis. So for yogis, they saw Krishna as what? Para-tattva, param tattva, absolute truth. Because that is what the yogis do. They meditate on absolute truth. Vadanti tat tattva vidas tattvam jnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagwaniti shabdati. Yogis, they try to realize the param satya as paramatma in their hearts. So they could realize that the same param satya on whom we are trying to meditate, he is the same absolute truth. So yogis are seeing him as absolute truth, param satya, param tattva. And the last category is the Vrishnis or the other members of Vrishni dynasty. For them, Krishna was their para-devatā. That means their worshipable Lord. What rasa is this? When a devotee sees Krishna as the Supreme Lord? Dasya. And what rasa is between yogis? When yogis saw Krishna as param tattva? Shanta. Very good. So we covered all. You can see these 10 examples, all 12 rasas are covered. All the 5 main rasas. So the yogis, they saw, in Shantaras they saw Krishna. Then the Vrishnis, they saw in Dasya Bhav. Then the women of Mathura in conjugal mellows, in Madhurya Bhav. The friends of Krishna as Sakhya Ras. And the parents of Krishna as Vatsalya. And the extra rasa of parents was karuna, compassion. The extra rasa of the friends of Krishna was hasya. And then the 5 other rasas, that is Raudra was perceived by the wrestlers. Then Adbhuta by the common pious men of Mathura, that wonderful Krishna. Then chivalry, Veeraras by the kings. And terror, Bhayanak by Kamsa. And Bibhatsa by the unintelligent people who saw him as the universal form. They got a little scared. Oh, he's so powerful, he killed so many demons. So they got a little scared of Krishna. So in that way, the 12 rasas are covered very beautifully in this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. So therefore is a very, very important verse which actually proves that how Krishna is rasa vaisaha. So Krishna is the source of all mellows. And Prabhupada used to stress so much on this point that we all have a relationship with Krishna. In fact, in the Bhagavad Gita introduction itself, imagine, introduction to Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada very clearly writes, what he writes? That each of the jivas, out of billions of jivas, each of the jivas, they have a particular relationship with Krishna in one of these 5 rasas. He mentions there, Shanta, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya and Madhurya. Right in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. So this is the highest of all knowledge, and Prabhupada is so merciful that in the beginning itself he is revealing this to all of us. But that is Mahaprabhu's mission. He actually came to give the highest form of relationship with Krishna. Anarpitam charim chirat karunavatirna kalo samarpaitum unnata ujjularasam svabhakti shriyam hari purata sundara duti kadamba sandipita sadaride kandare vasatu vasachi nandana. There is a beautiful verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita where it is said that how Mahaprabhu came to give us anarpita, something that was never given. Anarpitam charim chirat, for a long time that was never given. And what was that? Unnata ujjvala rasa, the highest rasa, or the madhurya rasa with Krishna. So actually, all this, out of these 5 rasas, Shanta rasa devotees don't want, because in Shanta rasa there is no seva. But all of the 4 rasas is what Mahaprabhu came to give all of us. Chari bhava bhakti diya nacha mutri bhuvan. It is said that sometimes Mahaprabhu came only to give conjugal rasa. No, he came to give that because that is the highest. But actually he gave all the 4 rasas. That is Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya and Madhurya. And each one of us, we have one particular rasa with Krishna which is already there. We don't have to invent or we don't have to speculate about it. So as we do devotional service, as we advance in our devotional service, gradually our relationship with Krishna will be revealed within us. So we don't have to be cheated by so-called Babajis, by Siddha Pranali, etc. No. The only way we can, so Prabhupada says the relationship is there with us, within us. And therefore in his famous purport to Hare Krishna Mahamantra, what Srila Prabhupada says, the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is a sublime method to revive our natural Krishna consciousness, right? Our natural relationship with Krishna. So that natural relationship that we have, that rasa we have with Krishna, can be reawakened by the process of Vaidhi Sadhan Bhakti. We follow the principles of Krishna consciousness, all the rules and regulations, chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, reading Srimad Bhagavatam, associating with devotees, deity worship. When we do all these elements of Vaidhi Sadhan Bhakti very systematically, seriously, then gradually when the anarthas will be destroyed from our heart, and gradually we'll realize our rasa with Krishna. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Sadhya Kabanoy Shravan Adi Suddha Chitte Korayuday. So as we do this, Shravan Adi means Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, all this Navada Bhakti, and the most important is Shravan Adi. So when we do more and more Shravan and Kirtan, the heart will become cleansed, and then the rasa with Krishna will be revealed. Because unless we have bhakti, even Krishna comes before us, we cannot appreciate. That is what we are seeing. That Krishna was personally there, but people like Kamsa, the impious kings, and the foolish people, they could not appreciate Krishna. Because they didn't have bhakti. So only devotional service or the seva bhav that we have, bhakti, can enable us to see Krishna. Therefore, Prabhupada quoted so many times this verse from Brahma Samhita, Premanjana Shurita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadeva Hrideshu Vilokayanti Yam Shama Sundaram Achintya Guna Swarupam Govindamadi Purusham Tamham Bhajami. So only when our eyes are decorated with Premanjana, with the ointment of love, we can see Krishna. Otherwise, even if Krishna comes, we'll be like Kamsa and the other impious people who just saw Krishna as ordinary man or someone who is death personified, like that. We cannot appreciate Krishna as in his most beautiful form. And there's no time. There's another nice pastime in Chaitanya Bhagavat also, where Mukunda, when Mahaprabhu was exhibiting his Mahaprakash Leela, when he was displaying his special opulences, he blessed various devotees. So when Mukunda came, so first Mahaprabhu didn't want to give his darshan to Mukunda. Why? Because he said that Mukunda, he sometimes comes to devotees and other times he goes to Mayavadis. So he said, I'll never give mercy to that person. And then Mukunda was very much morose and unhappy. So he asked the devotees that please ask the Lord that will he ever show his darshan to me? And Mahaprabhu in angry mood said after 10 million lifetimes I'll give my mercy to him. When devotees came and told Mukunda that after 10 million lifetimes Mahaprabhu will bestow his mercy on you, what was Mukunda's reaction? Imagine what would have been our reaction. I said, forget this bhakti, 10 million lifetimes. We don't have in patience. We say, I have been chanting for 10 years, 20 years, and not getting Krishna Prem. Sometimes, we feel that let's give up this path. But Mukunda, he said, 10 million lifetimes, Krishna will give me, Mahaprabhu will give his mercy. He started jumping and jumping in ecstasy. And when Mahaprabhu saw this mood of Mukunda, he became very satisfied. They said, okay, bring him immediately. So 10 million lifetimes became, in 1 second, Mahaprabhu said, bring him. And then Mahaprabhu gave his darshan, his mercy. And then Mukunda, he very beautiful verses, he glorifies Mahaprabhu. And he says the same thing, that, oh my Lord, without bhakti, there is no point of having your darshan. Even if you're calling me for darshan, that's your mercy. But I don't have bhakti, so I'm not able to have your darshan. So the point he is trying to make is that without bhakti, we cannot even have your darshan. So there he quotes, he says many examples, like Duryodhan he says. Duryodhan, he saw your virāḍ roop. But did Duryodhan appreciate? No. He tried to bind Krishna, imagine. Because he didn't have bhakti. Bhakti shunya hridaya. So if our heart is devoid of bhakti, we can never have Krishna's darshan. Then he gives the example of Jarasandha and different kings who saw Krishna when Krishna was kidnapping Rukmini, Shishupal, Jarasandha. But they had darshan of Krishna, but still they could not have darshan because they didn't have bhakti. They were devoid of bhakti. Then he gives the example of Hiranyakashipu, that who had the first darshan of Nrsimhadev? Hiranyakashipu. Even before Prahlad could have darshan, so Hiranyakashipu had darshan of Nrsimhadev. But he could not appreciate because he had no bhakti. So like that, he gives so many examples that without bhakti we can't appreciate Krishna. And in this beautiful section of Bhagavatam, in this famous verse, we saw that how different kinds of people, based on their consciousness, they exchanged their rasa with Krishna. So any questions, any comments? Yes, any Mataji, anything like to say? Anyone else? Any comments or questions? Okay, Rajvidya from.
Thank you very much, Radhakant. So many times we hear this verse from Brahma Samhita, So what does it take practically like? ointment of love and we put in our eye to see Krishna. So what does it mean by ointment of love and practical, like devotional service?
Yeah, nice question. So what is the practical meaning of premanjana, ointment of love? Basically means when we come to the stage of love, like we know the 9 stages of bhakti, starting with Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajan Kriya, Anartha Nivriti, Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava and Prem. So the real darshan of Krishna, like all the time we can see Krishna in our heart only when we come to the stage of Prema Bhakti. That is what is meant in that verse. That Santa Sadeva Hrideshu. So at that stage we can always have darshan of Krishna within our hearts. And to the degree like if you have little love for Krishna, we can have little darshan of Krishna like that, To the degree we have love for Krishna, to that degree we can have his darshan or reciprocation with him. But right now, or especially in my case, our eyes is filled with kamanjana, lusty desires or desire to enjoy this world. So with that we can never see Krishna. But as we practice this process of Vedhi Bhakti gradually, when Krishna Prem will arise in our heart, then we can actually have darshan of Krishna. So right now when we come before Krishna Balaram, what's our mood? That I am not having darshan, but Krishna Balaram, they are putting their merciful glance on us. Like Bhakti-Sarana Thakur said, that what darshan you will have of Krishna. Our mood is that Krishna will cast his glance of mercy on us. So now when we go for darshan, that should be our mood. That I am going, I have no vision to see Krishna, but rather I am just going and praying to Krishna that he may cast his glance of mercy on us. Yes.
Hare Krishna, bro.
Yes.
So we hear Lord Krishna is a Purna Kam and his Dham about is also a complete.
Yes.
Krishna is himself is complete. But we hear Lord when he wants to enjoy the virāḍ, so he comes on this Bhoma Lila, he does the Bhoma Lila
Yes.
planet. So means there is something missing there.
Yes.
Like that?
Nice question. Actually, nothing is missing in Golok Vrindavan. But still, because you see, this is also part of Krishna's creation. Na? So we shouldn't say when Krishna is coming, this is also Krishna's home only. So material world is not something separate from Krishna. It's part of Krishna's creation. So there are different places for like you want to do swimming, you have to go to swimming pool. You want to fight, you have to go to wrestling arena. So in Golok Vrindavan, there is no demons with whom Krishna can fight. So for fighting, then Krishna has to come here. So yes, you are right. So to enjoy virāḍ, Krishna has to come to material world. And also it is said even Vatsalya Rasa is there in spiritual world, but it is said that here Vatsalya Rasa is more intense because Krishna takes birth here. In spiritual world that pastime is not there. Krishna is always in his like in his young feature, and there is Vatsalya Bha. Mother Yashoda feeds Krishna every day. But there Mother Yashoda doesn't breastfeed Krishna. Or Krishna is not a small baby there. So the intensity of Vatsalya Rasa is actually more in this material world. Very nice point. So therefore Bhoma Lila is very special. And virāḍ also can be enjoyed here only. In this material world. Yes, thank you. And I heard somewhere that even Vaikuntha, Lord has, just like, I don't know, I have to just verify it. I'm not sure whether it's right or wrong. I think somewhere I have read or heard that Vaikuntha also there are some mock, like sometimes the king fights with wrestlers. So like that. So when Krishna develops it, Lord Vishnu develops the desire, that is why Jai Vijay, they come down here. He wanted to have fight with them. So, yes.
You have shown us that 12 rasas is pastimes of Krishna killing the elephant.
Not killing the elephant, Krishna entering the wrestling arena. Yeah, when Krishna enters the wrestling arena, so that time the different varieties of people, they reciprocate with Krishna in different rasas. So all the 12 rasas are covered, yes.
My question is that you have said that Samsa is not able to appreciate Krishna, Hiranyakshipu is not able to appreciate Krishna. We understand that for them that they are kind of materially engrossed. They think that they want to know about the material nature, that's why they can't appreciate Krishna, his presence. But you see that when even the devotees, like Pandavas, like Kardam Muni, like Uddhava, they are in association with Krishna. And like Kardam Muni got Kapil Dev as his child. But even after getting the Lord as a child, they want to go for tapasya for the Lord. Like, what is the reason? They got the Lord, still they want to do tapasya for the Lord. Why?
Okay, just 2 points. So one is, as I said, even if Krishna is there with us, based on a level of consciousness, we can actually see Krishna. So if someone doesn't have that pure love, even if Krishna is there in front of him, he still is in material consciousness. So that's one important point. And Kardam Muni example, Prabhupada writes in that section that he, even though Kapil Dev, Lord came as his son, but why he left home? Because to prove that the words of Shastra is more important. Because the Shastras say that one has to quit home and take Vanaprastha ashram. Therefore he did that. So that is to follow the Vedic scriptures. Because scriptures are words of Krishna, and how scriptures are even higher than Krishna, Prabhupada says. So although he got Supreme Lord as his son, but still he followed scriptures. He left his home and went for sannyas. No, Uddhava, because Krishna was instructed Uddhava to go to Badrinath. So therefore Uddhava left Krishna. So that is why, physical association is not so important. What is more important is following instructions of Krishna. Like spiritual master, we say Vani is more important than Vapu. So same with Krishna. So even to the Brahman wives, if you read that chapter, Krishna says, go back home. Physical association with me is not important. Just hear about me. So therefore, hearing about Krishna, chanting about Krishna is more important than physical proximity with Krishna. That Krishna himself is saying.
But sometimes in case of gopis, they don't follow Krishna's instruction. And then first Krishna says,
That is very, very high level. We can't imitate that. Prabhupada says that is the highest level. Only the gopis can do that. Only they can, they understand the heart of Krishna and they can, disobey Krishna. But we are not at that level. Okay, so thank you all very much. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. I have read or heard that Vaikuntha also there are some mock, like sometimes the king fights with wrestlers. So like that. So when Krishna develops it, Lord Vishnu develops the desire, that is why Jai Vijay, they come down here. He wanted to have fight with them. So, yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for nice lecture. You have shown us that 12 prasads is pastimes of Krishna killing the elephant.
Not killing the elephant, Krishna entering the wrestling arena. Yeah, when Krishna enters the wrestling arena, so that time the different varieties of people, they reciprocate with Krishna in different rasas. So all the 12 rasas are covered, yes.
Really, my question is that you have said that Kamsa is not able to appreciate Krishna, Hiranyakashipu is not able to appreciate Krishna. We understand that for them that they are kind of materially engrossed. They think that they want to lord over the material nature, that's why they can't appreciate Krishna, his presence. But you see that when even the devotees, like Pandavas, like Kardam Muni, like Uddhava, they are in association with Krishna. And like Kardam Muni got Kapil Dev as his child. But even after getting the Lord as a child, they want to go for tapasya for the Lord. Like, what is the reason? They got the Lord, still they want to do tapasya for the Lord. Why?
Okay, just 2 points. So one is, as I said, even if Krishna is there with us, based on a level of consciousness, we can actually see Krishna. So if someone doesn't have that pure love, even if Krishna is there in front of him, he still is in material consciousness. So that's one important point. And Kardam Muni example, Prabhupada writes in that section that he, even though Kapil Dev, Lord came as his son, but why he left home? Because to prove that the words of Shastra is more important. Because the Shastras say that one has to quit home and take Vanaprastha ashram. Therefore he did that. So that is to follow the Vedic scriptures. Because scriptures are words of Krishna, and how scriptures are even higher than Krishna, Prabhupada says. So although he got Supreme Lord as his son, but still he followed scriptures. He left his home and went for sannyas.
Same case with Uddhava and Pandava.
No, Uddhava, because Krishna was instructed Uddhava to go to Badrinath. So therefore Uddhava left Krishna. So that is why, physical association is not so important. What is more important is following instructions of Krishna. Like spiritual master, we say Vani is more important than Vapu. So same with Krishna. So even to the Brahman wives, if you read that chapter, Krishna says, go back home. Physical association with me is not important. Just hear about me. So therefore hearing about Krishna, chanting about Krishna is more important than physical proximity with Krishna. That Krishna himself is saying.
But sometimes in case of gopis, they don't follow Krishna's instruction. And then first Krishna says,
That is very, very high level. We can't imitate that. Prabhupada says that is the highest level. Only the gopis can do that. Only they can, they understand the heart of Krishna and they can, disobey Krishna. But we are not at that level. Okay, so thank you all very much. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.